suspending Ndamukong Suh. This is not the first time Suh has done this.
He's been fined before. It also hurts his teammates.
I don't do bad things, and I have no intention to hurt somebody.
Championships, pressure. This game is about playing on the edge, playing to the maximum limits, pushing yourself to the farthest exertion as possible.
All right, so we are back. First take here with Kate and Freddie and Danny. We're doing part 2 of our best fits. This time we're on the defensive side of the ball. We're starting with Ndamukong Suh. We had a bit of a conversation about him earlier, but we're talking about best fits for one Ndamukong Suh. They expected he could get a deal like J.J. Watt, 6-year, $100 million contract. He deserves his money. But let's talk about where we could see Ndamukong Suh. Kate, best fit.
I almost feel right now like I'm from Detroit. This is how hard I'm going back for this city to bring him back. I'm not. I'm from New York.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey,
I don't know, he just fits so well there. He loves the defense. He loves the system. He loves his teammates. Caldwell, they get along. I don't see him going anywhere else. And on top of that, I think this is the perfect city for him. I think that last year, the end of that season was so painful for the way they went out. Also, the situation with Aaron Rodgers. I think he wants to come back. I think he wants to play for this city. I think he wants to play for these fans. He's going to get money from Detroit. It's not like we're pitching him to take a pay cut.
Right.
No, they can give him the money. So I think he goes back. I think that is exactly where he's supposed to be.
All right.
I would love to see the Arizona Cardinals get him. Can you imagine
Oh my gosh.
Calais Campbell
Will be
on that defense in that division?
That
Because both of those guys have played so well off each other. And believe me, I would love to see a player just stay with the franchise and be recognized like Barry Sanders was with the Detroit Lions. We think of the Detroit Lions, we think of Barry Sanders. But if they don't want to pay him the money, if I'm the Arizona Cardinals, step right up in Ndamukong Suh, because our defense lost Todd Bowles, but there's still going to be a terrific defense in that division. Darnell Dockett, they didn't bring him back because of injury, saving $6.5 million against the cap. But you bringing a guy like that on that defense with that attitude and that ability, making everybody better. If I'm the Cardinals, he'd be the perfect fit for them.
GM.
I can't believe you guys are missing the boat on this.
Oh boy.
All right, so we talked about him before. I think he's a dirty player. You guys don't. You think he just plays dirty?
He plays dirty. Yeah, he's not a dirty.
Who historically has the nastiest, dirtiest reputation in the NFL?
Oakland Raiders.
Oakland Raiders.
That's the perfect fit.
He's obviously working for them.
And all right, so that's one reason. That's just one reason because he fits there. Yeah. Detroit, I like him okay there, but I think he fits better in Oakland. He can grow his brand. He's talking about wanting to grow his brand. Detroit's a financially strapped city right now. You know, they've had their issues. He could expand his brand going to the West Coast. He brings in a whole nother aspect to earnability, to what he could make. Jack Del Rio, defensive-minded coach. Khalil Mack, you talk about some young players
that would be great.
that he could play with. UConn's own C.O. Moore, also there as well.
Good call.
And the most important thing, we're talking about a bidding war. Who has the deep pockets? It's going to be Oakland. So I see him going there.
Guys, but isn't it strange to imagine us not having Ndamukong Suh playing for Detroit? Like, I'm a huge Detroit Lions fan. I love everything about Detroit. But, like, isn't it weird to imagine him playing elsewhere? I
can't even picture it.
I understand. But he just seems so ingrained in that city.
Yeah, but we never thought Peyton Manning would leave Indianapolis either.
This is true.
The Denver Broncos.
This is true.
Brett Favre with Green Bay, Joe Montana with San Francisco.
This is true.
Unfortunately, those things
change happens.
It's not good change. It can be changed.
Reveal. So, what does he look like, guys?
Looks great in red and white.
Does he now?
Silver and
black. That's not because I said that.
It looks like he does it.
He does. I know. I was saying, does he have a Dolphins jersey under?
It's like they combined the CFL team with the Raiders for that one.
All right. Next up is season sack leader.
Oh, hold on.
We're not talking about
real quick. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, go ahead.
If he goes to Arizona, with their defense already, if they get their offense figured, they could be a Super Bowl.
Keep Carson Palmer healthy.
Sorry, we moved on. Too late. JJ, we're talking about Justin Houston. Houston was given a franchise tag by Kansas City on Monday. Team hopes to agree on a long-term deal with Houston, who finished just a half a sack behind Michael Strahan's NFL record last season, which is amazing. More so than J.J. Watt. He's big time. So, where do you see this kid?
Boy, San Francisco 49ers. With that defense, I mean, Justin Smith is not coming back. Alden Smith, we saw what he was able to look like once he got his troubles. Hopefully, those troubles are behind him. You put him on that defense because Jim Tomsula loves guys like him, guys that still have a lot to prove. Justin Houston, one of the best pass rushers in the National Football League. We never talk about this guy.
Ever.
And we should, because he's been that terrific for a long time.
Question. We had him on the show for the Super Bowl. I said, why aren't you getting the same amount of attention as one J.J. Watt?
Well, you know why? Because, I mean, J.J. Watt doesn't bring attention to himself.
But
yeah, but Justin Houston maybe I'm not saying he needs to thump out his chest a little bit bit more, but he needs somebody to speak for him. J.J. Watt had enough people say, hey, that guy's really good. You should pay attention to him. Then we start to watch him a little bit more with the Houston Texans. He's going to need that. You go to San Francisco, you're going to get that kind of attention. You're playing for an organization that is one of the storied franchises since the 1980s, winning a Super Bowl championship. Just in Houston, San Francisco, be a great fit.
Fagan.
Chicago Bears.
Oh. All right.
I just think it's a crime that they don't have a linebacker right now of his caliber. Also, I think they kind of want to switch to the 3-4. He would be perfect for that. Defensive-minded place. I mean, you just can't imagine Chicago having a terrible defense like it's having. They go out, they spend big money, they bring in this guy, and all of a sudden it's rejuvenated. You can go into this season and maybe be a little excited as a Bears fan that they're starting to get back on track when it comes to the defensive side of the ball.
All right.
I love it. I'm with you on Chicago.
That didn't take long.
You talk about franchises of where you could go. San Francisco's a good one for the 80s, but how about the team of the 80s, the best team ever, the 85 Bears? I think Chicago would be a perfect fit for them. They've been looking for a Brian Urlacher ever since he left, and that was, a sad thing to see his career end the way it did. They've put so much, and all we talk about is Cutler and Brandon Marshall on the offensive side of the ball, some of the weapons they have there. This is a team that has historically won with a defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, talk about it.
Yeah, so they need sort of that personality. They need somebody to come in. I think everybody would be talking about him. If he puts up those types of numbers where, what was he, a half sack short of straight hands?
Yes.
If he did that in a market like Chicago, and it's no offense to Kansas City, but people just don't, whatever reason, we don't talk about it.
And he's also, like you said, he needs people to actually speak up for him. He's very quiet. He's a silent leader, a gentle giant, so to speak. So
he still puts up numbers like those, though, and he does it in a place like Chicago.
Bigger market, people are paying attention, with a little more flash. Speaking of flash, let's see what this jersey looks like. The reveal, please.
Reveal, please.
It's 2-1. It's a vote.
You know what?
I'm not excited.
You're excited about Chicago?
Why
not?
Obviously, I want to see what looks better. I'm going to go with 49ers, but I could see, I agree with you with the Bears, but I like that. Red's my favorite color.
So you tell him to speak up for him, and then you just commit to downing his fashion choice?
Yes, well, I'm just saying, perhaps. 49ers looks good on them, but I could see either team. Let's move on, shall we? JPP. Shall we, kids?
Yes.
Shall we move on with the dance, or shall we? Okay, no.
After you criticize Justin Houston, we have no choice.
JPP franchised by the Giants Monday. After a slow start last season, JPP finished strong, led the Giants with 12.5 sacks. All right. I'm going to go with you first, Danny, even though I don't want to.
All right, I'm going to do this. Now, I was a New York Giant guy, so they might not be happy with me suggesting this move, but I'm going to go within the division, in the NFC East. I already got all the Dallas Cowboys fans mad at me for putting Des Bryant out somewhere else. So I'm going to put JPP on the Dallas Cowboys. They've spent so much time with the offensive line, with the offensive side of the ball. They need to spend a little bit more, and this is only a couple years ago, it was one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Now, they were much improved and much better, but they could use that force as a pass rusher on there to go with DeMarcus Lawrence, somebody that gives them some depth at that position to harass quarterbacks if they need to. And plus, I kind of like when teams go to rivals, like arch rivals like that. I think that'd be
because
great.
You play for more.
Yeah, you play with that chip on your shoulder. It makes for a good TV viewing experience. You want to see how a guy does against his old team.
Yeah, okay. You want to see a guy get kicked in the groin?
No, I don't want to see that.
No?
Why did you look at me with that?
Plausible
all of a sudden, Freddie wants violence more on TV. I think Carolina Panthers should be down with JPP because you put him next to Charles Johnson in that division. That defense is really good with Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davidson, linebacker. Their secondary, when they started to play younger guys last year, unheralded guys. That secondary got better, but in that division, Drew Brees still a viable quarterback with the New Orleans Saints. We know with Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons, that offense was great. The defense was awful. You bring that pass rusher, helps out your running game. Charles Johnson doesn't get double teamed as much, and you need to replace with Greg Hardy because they're not bringing the Kraken back, and I think that's a good decision by the Panthers. So I think the Panthers should be down with JPP.
Full disclosure, I'm a massive New York Giants fan.
Okay.
All right.
So we know where this is going?
So he's got to stay in New York.
Okay.
All right. I mean, first of all, he won 2 titles.
Right.
Last time we saw a pass rusher, Human Euro left for the Atlanta Falcons. That didn't
work out well at all.
Yeah. Spagnuolo's coming back, so he can work with him again. I just think New York is the place for pass rushers, right? They have transcendent pass rushers all the time. This guy can get back to form in New York and have the kind of year he had in 2011 where he was just incredible. He stays in New York, works with guys he's used to. Giants get back on track, and I'm happy.
And that's all about that.
So,
Wait.
You're good with Coughlin?
Yeah, I'm good with Coughlin.
Okay, because I was going to put him in a jersey.
Oh,
That's a good combo.
You gonna put Coughlin in a jersey?
This is where he should go.
Oh
Give me
my
your best
goodness!
fit.
Already? Got the U-Haul truck back
Yes.
up to the Coughlin family
Yes.
compound.
The reveal, please. Da, 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 da.
So
He looks good in all of them, honestly. Seriously. He looks good in all of them.
He looks in all of them. You're right. He looks
does.
in all of them. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen at home, you've heard our experts speak. We need to hear you on the Twitter. Respond to the hashtag NFL Best Fits, and we reveal a little later on in the show, or maybe we just not tell you at all, because you guys already have spoken about it. So coming up next, let's talk about Jameis Winston. He's trying to trademark famous Jameis. The lady and gentleman react. We'll be right back in just a few moments.
You down with JPP? Yeah.
I like your OPP reference.